Good evening and welcome to the Trent Advantage webinar series. Tonight's topic is experiential learning. My name is Sasha Trivet and I'm the manager of recruitment. I'm moderating this session this evening. And with me, I have some awesome guests. I have Tina Fridgen. She is an academic advisor and biology course instructor. Welcome, Tina.
Hello.
And I have John Maris, who is the executive director of the Trent Community Research Center. Welcome, John.
Hi everybody.
And off camera, I have two more guests. I have Natalie Woofy from our School of Business. She is the coordinator for the School of Business and the coordinator for internships at our Peterborough campus. Welcome, Natalie.
Hello, everyone.
And I also have Brittany Blake from our Career Center, who is the Employer of Relations Coordinator. So
Hi,
welcome,
everyone.
Brittany. Thank you. So tonight we have a great lineup of information for you, everything you need to know about experiential learning at Trent University. And we have all the experts here to answer the questions. So we're going to start off with a presentation and we're going to go through some information. And at the end of the presentation, we'll open the floor for questions. And feel free to start typing in your questions as soon as we open it up, and we'll answer those questions in queue. So why don't we go ahead and start with the presentation and we'll see what we have for you. All right, so I am going to start us off tonight. What is experiential learning? So Trent University, experiential learning is a part of both the curricular and the co-curricular life of the institution, and it has been for many years. Students, community organizations, staff, and faculty all work and grow together through these really deep teaching and learning opportunities. Many students choose a variety of experiential learning opportunities, not just one or two, but they do many throughout their time at Trent, both as undergraduate students and as graduate students. And faculty members who have really deep and rich, varied research programs, and certainly engage with students as you prepare for some of these opportunities, both in the Peterborough region and beyond, and in the Durham region as well. And some of them teach experiential learning courses, and some of them engage with our community partners. So that could be businesses, not-for-profits, it could be the government sector, and so many other things. And your faculty are going to be involved in that process from beginning to end. So here's a little overview of what we're going to be covering tonight. We're going to look at undergraduate research opportunities. Tina's going to talk about that. And we're going to hear from John about the Trent Community Research Center, which has so many different opportunities for students from a variety of different academic pursuits. We're going to talk about placements, practica, and internships as they relate to various programs that are offered at Trent. And then if you're thinking about global opportunities, maybe you want to go abroad, we do have opportunities in experiential learning in different parts of Canada and internationally as well. And of course, we don't want to miss out on all of the on-campus work experiences that you could have as students. So right now, I'm going to turn it over to Tina, and she's just going to touch on some of the undergraduate research opportunities.
Thanks, Sasha. So as an academic advisor here at Trent, I have the pleasure to help you plan your degree. Within all majors offered here at Trent, there are many opportunities for independent research. The advising team, really what we want to do is encourage each student to review all their experiential education options with an academic advisor and also with your department. This is so that you can become aware of the many options that are available to you. You can set goals to meet the averages required to apply for these great opportunities, and then you can plan to make room for the experiential education in your second, third, and/or fourth year of study. You want to make sure that this is your degree, your way, and we are here to help you. So in most departments, there are independent research opportunities there, and they have them built right into their programs. There are options such as original honors theses and reading courses that can give students opportunity to work one-on-one with faculty, members, or research teams to explore research topics in your major. Field courses are great opportunities to allow students to gain credit while outdoors, getting your hands dirty, learning how to apply new techniques using research tools in real time. There's also many opportunities to work one-on-one with faculty here on campus. I actually started my academic work at Trent as a research assistant in a biology lab.
Awesome.
And that's where I learned invaluable working, really just research experience and employment direction with my great research team. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Tina. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it over to John, and he's going to talk about community-based research and the Trent Community Research Center. Here you go, John.
Thank you, Sasha. Thank you, Tina. So the Trent Community-Based Research Center and the Community-Based Research Program is a really unique opportunity that is available to Trent undergraduate students. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit about how the program is structured, what community-based research is, and how students can get involved in the program. So I think most of us have an idea of what we mean by the idea of research. What a research project might be. Within a university context, I think we think of labs, we think of researching in the library, we think of doing research on projects online, and answering questions that have come from faculty, have come from our own research interest. Community-based research takes a slightly different approach. We'll often be using the same sort of techniques that we might be using in traditional research, but there's a slightly different focus. In community-based research, there is no specific research method, but community-based research is about an approach to research that directly involves communities and directly involves questions that come from the community. Community-based research is in effect a tool of community development. Here at Trent University, we are unique in offering a community-based research program to undergraduate students in their third and fourth years. So let's think about community-based research as a process that starts with questions that come from community organizations. And at the Trent Community Research Center, we work with up to 20, sometimes 30 different organizations in any given academic year. And these organizations approach us with their research questions, and then we put together research projects, and then we find students to take on that work. The great thing about community-based research is that it gives students at Trent the opportunity to give back to the community in which they're studying and do research projects that are of real community benefit and produce a result that is really required. There's a couple of quotations up on screen for you at the moment, but the value of the research resides in its potential to produce results that can be used by the community. And at the same time, often the research process itself contributes to community change and community development. So just to go through how the process works, my organization, myself and my colleagues, will work with a number of different organizations in the Peterborough area to develop research projects. So conservation authorities, historical societies, social service agencies, the local municipalities, the range of organizations is very broad. They will come to us and they'll say, John, I want to do some research on a particular subject. I want to know how fast the shoreline of Lake Ontario is eroding, or I want to know what the history of a particular building is in the community. And then we'll work with that organization to develop a research project and to produce a proposal that we can then present to students. These projects then are made available through our website, and we'll have details of the website coming up in a minute, so that students can identify those projects, they can find those projects, and then they approach us and we help those students find a faculty member to support and supervise their project. And we have meetings with the community organization, and we create a research project that can be taken either in your third year or your fourth year. To take part in the community-based research program, students need a 75 average and need 10 full credits to be part of this sort of project. So once we've matched you with a project, then throughout the academic year, traditionally between September and April, but sometimes we have shorter projects that run till Christmas or run from January to April. You get support from your faculty advisor, you get support from your community host, and you get support from a project coordinator from my team, and we guide you through this experience of doing an original research project for the benefit of your local community. Once the project is complete, you also often get the opportunity to present and share the results of your research with your community host and with other organizations. We have a number of students this year who are putting in proposals based on their community research to speak at conferences, and also being asked to present at various organizations that want to benefit from the knowledge that they have gained. We work in the Peterborough City and County area through the Trent Community Research Center, but we also have a sister organization that is based up in Haliburton County to the north of Peterborough called ULinks. So there are also projects available in that area. So to talk about the types of research, I've indicated some of the sorts of projects we get involved in, but we have an established relationship with a large number of different organizations, including conservation authorities and social support agencies, the local municipalities, lots of different charities and community groups. So there are projects available in the area of environmental and conservation research, in historical research, research on behalf of mental health addictions and social support agencies, economic assessments and development, and then working with the culture and arts community as well. We've had a number of projects this year with arts organizations in Peterborough and with historical societies and local museums as well. So opportunities exist to do this work as a form of independent study, much like you take on a reading course or a thesis in your upper years, working directly with the faculty on their research interests. You can do a form of independent study with the Trent Community Research Center on a CBR project. And there are course codes in almost every department to do that work. But there are also a number of courses run in different departments where if you sign up for that course, then you'll be doing a project with us. And those courses are in fourth year in forensics, geography, and international development studies. To be clear, all of this work is for academic credit. It can be a full year credit, it can be a half year credit, it can even be a double credit thesis. And as you move through your academic study, we also have a number of projects at the master's and PhD level as well. So once you've graduated from your undergraduate degree, there are lots of opportunities to continue with community-based research. I think I've already mentioned you need 10 full credits to qualify for the program and a 75 average. And the program is designed mostly for third and fourth year students wanting to apply their skills in the community. There are also opportunities to get a taster for community-based research in a first-year course in environmental studies, ERST 1010, where you can get involved in gathering data for a long, multi-year research project on cycling in the Peterborough community. To give you some very quick sample projects, if we've got time for me to go through this, yeah, okay, good. So this year we've had a history project on the old Peterborough County Jail, researching the history of this building and the history of its closure in the early 2000s. We've had a project that's been looking to support immigrant entrepreneurs in Peterborough, and we've had some research work done with residents in Peterborough who've been receiving a rent supplement from the city. So this gives you an idea of some of the diversity of the sort of projects we've been working on. We've also got a project on transitional housing to prevent and reduce youth homelessness. And there is a plan to build a casino in the Peterborough community at some point in the next couple of years. So we've done some research with organizations in other cities to see what the impact of a casino has on at-risk populations. We've also, I think the last project here is a coaching manual for a special needs hockey team. So this will give you an idea of the diversity of the different sort of projects that you can get involved in.
Fantastic.
Okay, I'm probably going to skip through some of these because are we good for time?
Yeah, if you want to finish them, that would be great. I think it's interesting for people to see the different projects that we're doing.
So maybe I'll just quickly read through these ones. So we have one on looking at water permeability in a sub-watershed that's under development pressure. So this is all about runoff from parking lots and and what this does for the local creeks and streams. We've also been looking at the natural areas strategy that was developed in Peterborough in the late 90s and mid-90s, in 1996, and seeing how it's changed over the last 20 years. And then a really exciting project. We have great projects with an organization called the Invasive Plant Council, and they look at different plant species that are moving into Ontario and into our communities, and looking at what damage they may be doing to native wildlife. And we do lots of projects with that organization. So to find out about our projects, to see the sort of projects that are available, then we have a website, which is www.trentcentre.ca. And you can always send me an email at info@trentcentre.ca. All of our projects are actually listed on the website, projects that are happening this year, but projects that are available in future years as well.
Thank you, John.
No problem.
That's very informative. I think there'll be lots of questions after about that. Okay, so we're just going to move on to some placements, practica, and internships. So many of the programs at Trent do offer some kind of experiential learning, and these specific departments offer some, and we're just going to go briefly through them so that you can have a sense of whether it's a placement, a practica, internship, or multiple opportunities. So starting with the School of Education, we have in your teacher education program, there are practicums and alternative field placements. So if you're in the teacher education stream program or coming into that program, you can expect to have placements in years 1, 2, 3, and 4. And each of those 4 courses, or each of those four years of placement, are going to have 18 hours. So there's great placement opportunity for you there. And placement will be done in a variety of settings. So some of them are traditional and some of them are non-traditional. So if you're thinking about a traditional setting, you're going to have placement in a classroom, for example, which is pretty normal. Mentoring and tutoring, you might be working with summer school or summer programs, and maybe drama or music. And then, of course, you're going to have place settings in a non-school setting. So you could be working with the New Canadian Centre in Peterborough, or one of the museum programs, as they offer something for the summer camps, Frontier College, which is tutoring, and Pen Pals is a really popular one at both our Peterborough and our Durham campus. Any library programs and volunteering abroad and theater groups. So lots of different ways that our teachers do get practical experience before they go out into the workforce. Now, once you've completed your teacher education stream and you move into your Bachelor of Education years, so that's your year 5 and 6. Yeah. Years 5 and 6. Bachelor of Education students spent a lot of time out in the classroom. So that's 115 days of practicum over 2 years. So you get tons of great experience, and you partner with schools in the Peterborough and Durham board. So that's 10 days tutoring for literacy and working with children in special needs as well. And we have a number of different sort of alternative placements that you could be working in, and you have to do 15 days of those. So tons and tons of experience there. Now, within our nursing program, clinical placement, of course, is a really important part of your academic experience. And we want our nurses to have as much practical experience as possible. So that's why right from year 1, semester 2, you're going to be starting your practicum placement. And over the course of your 4 years, you have many hours of placement in a variety of different settings. So whether you're working in aging, mental health, Indigenous communities, rural health, or women and women's health and gender, you're going to get lots of experience in hospitals and in other settings. And I think your 4th year is pretty much all on placement. So really, it's awesome. If you're interested in traveling abroad and working as a nurse in other areas of the world, we do offer a Honduran Health Brigade. So that might be something that you can think about in one of your upper years. In our social work program, in years 3 and 4 of the program, you're going to be completing over 700 hours of supervised clinical placement. So that's great experience. Whether you're at the Peterborough campus or the Durham campus, we're going to be setting up placements for you. And there'll be lots of opportunities for you to be in a variety of areas in a variety of settings. So some examples of field placement could include community counseling care centers, sexual assault centers, mental health services, and of course, schools. So if you're coming into our forensic science program, please know that there are placements. I believe they take place in your third year, and it is optional. You don't have to do the placement if you don't want to, but I know lots of students are interested in the placement, and because there's so many different opportunities for you. So it's about 70 hours in length, and you're out in the community in a variety. I'm not even going to read all these settings because there's so many different ways that you could be involved. Lots of placement opportunities within the forensic science department. So if you're coming into that program, that might be something you want to consider adding into your third year. Now I'm going to turn it over to Natalie, and she's going to discuss some of the opportunities within the School of Business.
All right, thank you, Sasha. So in the School of Business, we have a formal internship program available to business students in their third or fourth year. Our program model is based on academic credit. So students would have the opportunity to get an academic credit towards their business degree while gaining valuable experience out in the field of their interest. So we have 2 credit courses that students have the option to take, and they would register for these courses just like they would register for any other course in June when registration opens. The Admin 3870 is the internship level 1, and there's also another level 2 course that's available. So both of these are 2 separate experiences where students can do 100 hours of placement out in the field. And they also have an academic component that's all online, which offers quite a bit of flexibility. So students that want to take this would need to have a 70% GPA average requirement. And to get into the first level, 3 business credits, which is about 6 courses. And that usually would be the case for students that are going into their third year. It's open to full major BBA students and joint major business students. And for the 100 placement hours, it's a pretty neat opportunity for business students to integrate it into their academics. So you don't need to leave your other credits that you're doing. You would take this course along with your other 4 courses for a full course load. So it's usually about a day a week over a 12-week term. So if you were to start your placement in September, you would do 1 day of placement the whole term up until December. And there's also an academic component. It's a bit less than a normal credit course because there is 100 hours, but you would be doing reflective journals, online discussions with other students in the class, and a final research paper. So for placement opportunities, there's all sorts of different areas. We have 9 specializations in the BBA stream. So you could get a placement in any of those different streams. We have placement opportunities in marketing and social media, human resources, administration and project management, not-for-profit and government sector, and finance and accounting. They're usually here in the Peterborough area for Peterborough students, but we do offer this program on the Durham campus as well, and students can do an internship placement there in Durham or the GTA area. You can bring your own placement if you had a placement in mind, or if you wanted to network and you had a very specific area that you wanted to get into. We are open to that, and we just pre-approve those placements. And there's also various different posted positions available on the placement portal that we have. We have connections with about 80 to 90 companies here in the Peterborough area that post with us every term, and you can apply for those positions once you're in the program. We do run it every term, so it's September start, January start, and May start. And students should apply and register for the program at least 2 months prior to the start of term. And I would invite you to have a look at the business website, trentu.ca business/business, and you can get in contact with me, Natalie Wolfrey, as the internship coordinator, or Lori Busher in Durham as the internship coordinator on the Durham campus, and we would step you through the whole process.
Thank you, Natalie. I just have one question for you. I'm going to interject right now, actually. Are there any opportunities internationally for our business students?
The international, that would be more study abroad. For this particular program, because it's connected to an academic credit, it does need to be locally within Ontario for our model.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Tina now. We're going to talk biology.
Yes, hi. So as a member of the biology department, I'm proud to announce that we actually have some great internship opportunities. If you are going to be a part of have the conservation specialization added to your degree, students can apply to participate in a collaborative research project with a local organization. So usually this type of a program would capitalize on the expertise and activities of collaborating with regional, professional, and national agencies such as the Ministry of Natural Resources, the Toronto Zoo, and regional conservation authorities. I actually did a conservation biology internship, to be honest, and I did mine within a research team, the forensics department here at Trent University, working on, I think I ended up publishing a journal article from that project called The Conservation Genetics of Wood Turtles in Ontario. Within the biology department, we also have the opportunity to do a specialization in health sciences. And in that regard, you can actually do placements in the health sciences. So this is separate from now we have a new department called the biomedical sciences, and there you would have placement as well in health sciences or in medical sciences. So again, the purpose of these placements is to gain practical experience working in a medical or healthcare related setting, such as local hospitals, pharmacies, health units, or research laboratories. More information on any of these placements really should be addressed with the biology department directly. There should be links to this on the Experiential website that we'll be providing links to later on today. I would like to talk a little bit about another research opportunity. It's interesting because we actually, being out in the beautiful nature of Peterborough's natural campus, actually has a 33-acre living laboratory located right on campus. This actual proximity to farmer fields actually allows students to have some real life learning opportunities while gaining credit. These can be done usually through honors theses or reading courses, and many different routes to working on this field, but you would contact the Sustainable Agriculture program to learn more about this opportunity. Some departments actually have field opportunities that can take you outside of Canada. Trent's Indigenous Studies department has several courses, one of them being Indigenous 3113Y, which is an Indigenous Peoples of Mexico field school opportunity. This is where students can apply to travel through the heart of Mexico's indigenous cultures, visiting local villages and participating in international seminars. Students learn about the struggles of southern Mexico to preserve the original cultures while resisting the forces of development and globalization affecting the lives of indigenous majority. This is a great 20-day summer field course, and to check the availability of this course, you would have to talk directly with the Indigenous department. Another great field opportunity that we run is more local, and it is called Indigenous and Ecologically Relevant Curriculum Design Field School. So this is actually run just outside of Peterborough in Burleigh Falls, where students live off the land and learn valuable aspects of Indigenous curriculum design to apply directly to educational practice. I think it's Nicole Bell who runs this program, and she has developed a lot of Indigenous programming and shares all of her wonderful experience with you. Okay. Another department that has great field school opportunities outside of Canada is the Anthropology department. So anthropology students or joint majors are able to participate in Anthropology Field School. Some of these are done directly through the Trent department, and others are done through collaboration with other universities. Anthropology 3000Y can be done through Belize, where students, basically all of these field opportunities are designed to provide students with basic understanding of practical and theoretical aspects of site excavation and artifact processing. So in Belize, you actually get to participate in excavating ancient Maya ruins, which just sounds so fascinating. And then you actually have some opportunities to work on more local sites here in Peterborough and Oshawa as well. The other digs that you can join in on through other universities are various and are just listed as well on the slide. Okay, so moving along to the International Development Studies program here at Trent. If you are a single major or a joint major in this program, you have amazing opportunities to study abroad and gain hands-on field experience working in communities such as Ghana, Ecuador, and Cuba. These opportunities are available to all IDS students and joint majors, as I just said. And the idea of this is to spend the full academic year in these locations. So that's from September all the way till April. You participate in several field trips and work for 12 weeks with the development organizations. Students register into 5 full credits for these, basically for this experience. And I hear wonderful things of so many students coming back. So in this presentation, we've just shown slides for the 3 different locations that you can go to through the International Development Studies. We have Ghana, Ecuador, and then we also have, in collaboration with Dalhousie University, an opportunity to go to Cuba. So if your individual program doesn't have a field school option abroad, all students are able to study abroad at some point in their degree. We have an amazing, we have an absolutely amazing study abroad program here at Trent that will work one-on-one with you to make a plan for wherever you would like to go. We have a lot of great exchange programs that allow you to pay normal Trent tuition to go to a host university. This can be done either through just a summer term, a fall or winter term, or even the whole year round. If the exchange program doesn't have a place that you were interested in, then we can always work on a plan with the study abroad team. So it's really important here, the study abroad team would like me to share with you all these amazing different locations that they have worked with in the past. And it's really important that they suggest that you plan early with an advisor to understand exactly where these study abroad opportunities can fit into your personal degree. In some programs, it might be harder to fit in a study abroad experience, but it doesn't mean that it can't happen. If you plan early, it'll allow you to have more flexibility so that you can make a plan that works for you. And I think that's it for me.
Thank you, Tina. That was great. It makes me want to travel.
Yes.
Definitely. I'd love to go to some of those countries. I'm going to turn it over to Brittany now, and she's going to discuss working on campus opportunities.
Hi, everyone. I hope everyone can hear me okay tonight. So, working on campus is really a great way to gain work experience with an employer who fully understands that your academics come first. And this past year, there was over 500 opportunities to work on campus in a variety of different departments, both administrative and academic. So there really is something for everyone, depending on what your interest is. Great opportunities to develop leadership skills, marketing and communications, event planning, customer service skills. For example, in the Career Center where I work, we hired 5 student staff this past year who did a variety of different roles within marketing, like I say, helping me in my role with employer relations, event planning. So there really is something for whatever it is that you're interested in. And all of these jobs can be found on the student job board, which you will have access to via My Trent when you come here. You might also notice that there are some special funded positions for students who are receiving OSAP as part of a Trent Work Study program, as well as there are special funded positions for international students as well. Outside of work with these on-campus jobs in either the academic or administrative positions, there are also over 130 opportunities to get involved with undergraduate research assistant positions. Now, these could be grading assistant, research assistant, or teaching assistant positions. Many of these positions can also be found on the student job board. However, it's a really great way for you to connect within your department and ask your faculty if there are any of these opportunities available. Ask them if they need help with any of their grading. So generally, networking and talking to Trent faculty and staff is a great way to hear about potential jobs. It's a great way to make those relationships and kind of put yourself above the other applicants by having that personal connection. You can definitely visit the Career Center, www.trentu.ca/careers. There's a variety of information on there relating to on-campus jobs, and you can also have access to tip sheets and see the range of workshops that we offer, such as tips for work search, resume development, and networking. We really are here to help and encourage you, for example, at the Career Center, which is part of the Office of Student Transitions and Careers. We are here to help. Reach out to me, reach out to the colleagues there, and have a peek at the Experiential Learning website at trentu.ca/experiential that really covers all of these opportunities that we have been covering here tonight. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us tonight. That brings us to the end of us talking. And we encourage you, please feel free to go ahead and type in any more questions that you have. And thank you again for joining us.
Thank you, Brittany. Okay, now it's time to take some of the questions. And I see there are a few that have been coming in. We're going to start with Jack. John, the question is for you.
Sure.
We're kind of wondering if students can propose their own research topic.
Within the community-based research programs, great question. Generally, the answer is no. And the reason that we don't encourage students to generate their own research questions is that by the nature of community-based research, we want to know that the question is one that is emerging from a specific and genuine community need, so that we work closely with all these organizations to address their research questions. And therefore, the focus is on those organizations coming to us with the project.
Okay, I see.
Can I add to that?
Yeah, of course.
When you are working with your department, however, working on a thesis or a reading course, you and definitely within field courses, that's where you do have opportunity to explore theses or questions that you may have on your own. Yeah.
And so when do students start applying for internships, and when do they start to plan to do this? Is it something they need to be thinking about now, or can they be waiting till first, second year? I don't know, Tina or John?
It's a great question. As far as an academic advisor, I would say it's never too early to start planning. Always learning your options. I mean, the website has so much information. You can always start reading about them now. All of this information can be reviewed with faculty members, your department, academic advisors are familiar with it, with the various experiential learning opportunities. And of course, connecting with John probably earlier is probably a great idea to start setting some goals.
We would encourage students to come and talk to us in their second year if they think this is something that they strongly want to do, and then they can take on a project in their third year. We have a number of students who will come and, for example, do a half-year project in their third year, and get a real taste and an interest in doing community-based research, and then they'll do a community-based research project for a single full credit or even a double credit in their final year as a kind of capstone experience at Trent. We had a couple of students this year who are doing their thesis project as a community-based research initiative, which has been great. And those students did projects in their third year as well.
Wonderful. Oh, that's great.
Also, I would send people to the business department to speak with Natalie directly. Natalie, you offer appointments, right, to review these options?
Yes, I do offer appointments, and my booking site is on the website. But I think for business, I would say the same thing. Second year is a great time to come and talk to us about the options that are available. Our program does fill up pretty quickly, so because it's a registration course for students, an academic course, we would encourage you to register for the course in June when registration opens up. So it's something to think about at your end of your second year to register for that going into your third or your fourth year.
Sure.
Okay.
Just to add, we're all very friendly, approachable people, and making appointments to come and see
too.
us is fine. We're happy to talk to first and second year students about research opportunities and about what they might be interested in.
All right. So Kriti has a question about changing. So if her or his, I'm sorry, I'm not sure, interest is from psychology or business and back and forth, like deciding when the change takes place, there's still time to decide on completing an internship or a placement.
You know, at Trent, we have really open degree opportunities where you can change your major quite easily. Again, planning is always key. But I mean, you could be doing a joint major in psychology and business and end up doing some psychology practicums and some business internships at the same time. So, I mean, every department has different opportunities, and you have all the majors are, the majority of the majors are open to most people. And so really, I've seen people change their major in second year very safely. Third year it gets tighter because you're running out of room for electives. But really, planning is key for wondering about that. Thank you for your question.
Okay, and while we're still kind of talking about business, Natalie, can you tell us, are any of the business internships paid positions?
Some of them are. Most are not paid. They are the 100 hours, and students do get the academic credit, and they get a reference from the company that they're with. And often they do lead into paid positions. We just had a student that was hired full-time after their internship placement at the hospital, actually, and that was really exciting news. So it often does lead to employment for the unpaid positions, but some of them are paid. It just depends on the posting that we get, the posting that we have that each term. They differ from term to term, and it depends on the company.
Okay, but definitely come and talk to you about all those opportunities.
For sure. Yeah, I'd be happy to step you through the process.
Wonderful. Tina, I'm going to ask you, there's a question here about social work. And are there any social work internship opportunities, or is it really just a third, fourth year placement?
So social work is a new program that we offer, and we're just started our third year part of the program this year. From what I can see, that it is all just very placement oriented. They have a fantastic department, however, and a great departmental advisor, Deb Earle, who would love to help students, again, explore all possible opportunities. In the social work program, there are actually some electives that you do have available in the upper years. And again, this is a place where maybe you could speak with John, because it doesn't have to necessarily be with the social work program. You might be able to set up some sort of a community-based educational project through another department, as long as you have permission of the supervisor involved.
Yeah.
Right, John?
Community-based research is often a great opportunity to take an elective credit in a department that's not your home department. One of the students who did his double credit thesis in community-based research this year, doing some amazing historical research for a local community organization. He's a history major, but last year he did an environmental science community-based research project interviewing Trent students about their experiences of nature education. So very, very different from his major, but a great experience that then led to his interest in doing further community-based research and involved interviews and original research.
Okay, thank you. And for students who are thinking about going abroad to do a placement or an internship or a study abroad experience, there's a question about tuition scholarships, and do they count?
That is such a great question. From what I understand, with exchange programs, you would be paying tuition as you would if you normally take courses here at Trent. So if that is the case, I would I would guess that then your scholarship would apply. That said, this is a question that really should be addressed directly with the scholarships department. I think that the email for scholarships is scholarships@trentu.ca or the admissions team, right?
Yeah, and that would be my understanding too, Tina. So I think so long as you're meeting the academic requirements, that you're entitled to the scholarship because you are paying Trent tuition fees and studying abroad. So that's the benefit of a study abroad program.
That really is the benefit of those organized exchange programs, yes.
Okay.
Great question.
Yeah, and there's a couple of questions about working on campus. So Brittany, I'm going to, Miranda's wondering when to apply for on-campus jobs.
Miranda, that is a fantastic question. And I don't have one single answer for you because really there are different positions that come up at different times throughout the year. And one of the things that we're working on right now, and I'm working on specifically in my position, is putting together a calendar of on-campus job opportunities. And that is a project that I'm going to be working on over the next couple of weeks, actually, and hoping to have that live on the Career Center website. But just in a nutshell, for example, the TWSP, the Trent Work Study positions that I was speaking about earlier, to be eligible for those, you must be in receipt of OSAT. Those usually become available over the summer months, and you'll see a lot of those being posted on the student job board around August. So that's the time that you really want to get on the student job board and see what's out there. Another big time that a lot of recruiting is happening for on-campus jobs is actually in January and February for the upcoming academic school year. So when once you get settled here, and then you can start to in your second semester start looking at the job board and know that that's another time that you can find a lot of on-campus job opportunities as well.
Okay.
And I should mention as well, in that August timeframe, that is also when a lot of the Trent International funded positions are open as well.
Okay. And is it possible, can students work like all 4 years of their academic career? Are there any restrictions on when students can work?
There are absolutely no restrictions whatsoever. And what I always advise students, and I mean it's obviously a personal decision, maybe taking the first year to really get yourself familiarized with campus, with the services, understanding what it takes to perform in your academic degree. After you really understand what it means to be at university, then I always encourage students in their second year to really start looking for these on-campus work opportunities. So you can better understand how to manage your schedule. And then it's very interesting because there are a lot of positions that kind of build off of each other. So you can really start to plan, for example, if your goal is maybe in your 4th year of study to have a dawn position or something like that, then you can maybe start looking at some positions that will help you get those leadership skills so that when you come into your 4th year, that you'll have that experience, that you'll be able to apply for a position that requires a little bit more leadership, like a dawn position.
Okay.
It's never too early to start talking with your faculty members.
Yes.
It might seem intimidating going up to your professors and starting a conversation with them after class. But as an instructor, I can tell you it's very rewarding. I always make myself available after class to talk to students. So many students approach me asking about research opportunities or volunteering in our labs. There's a lot of different opportunities. Talk to your instructors, ask them what they do in the summertime. Do they ever need any help? Can you volunteer? It's always a great way to get started.
That's right. Vi has a question about social work program. Are there any opportunities for placement in year 2 that you know of, Tina?
So the social work program is a competitive program that has an admissions process in the 3rd year of the program. So in the first 2 years of your program, it's called your generalist years, and that's where you're basically gaining experience in various different programs and preparing for the application process in 3rd year. So no, there's nothing directly from social work within the 2nd year. However, as we mentioned before, there are different opportunities around campuses and the different departments.
Perfect. Thank you. And Natalie, a question from Jack. can you give us a few like samples of companies that students might
Sure.
have been working with this past year?
Hi, Jack. Yeah, it really would depend on your area of interest. We have a pretty large variety of different companies that post with us every term. But we've had students this last term, we had them at the hospital at Peterborough Regional Health Center in their HR department. The Peterborough Innovation Cluster, which is a really neat a spot here in Peterborough, which is an incubator type of placement where there's different startup companies. So for students that are in our entrepreneurship stream, they tend to gravitate towards those because you can really see what is involved starting a company from the ground up. We do have students that are at local accounting firms. We had students at some major banks over the last few years and at Investors Group. And the City of Peterborough is also a huge supporter, and we've had students here at Trent as well in various different departments where they get great opportunity to do different things, whether it's in marketing or risk management or HR. There's all sorts of different opportunities for students every term.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Well, that's kind of it for the questions that are rolling in. Does anyone have a last minute question for any of our guests here tonight? Anything that's burning on your mind that you'd like to ask? All right. Well, great. Well, we really appreciate you joining us this evening, and a special thank you to Tina and John and Natalie and Brittany. We are all here to help and to answer questions. And I just wanted to remind you, if you haven't been to visit us at Trent yet, you haven't been to campus, we do offer campus tours Monday through Saturday, departing at 1 o'clock. That's trentu.ca/tours. Also on that website, you can learn about our Explore Days, which are coming up. It's going to be Saturday, May 6th at both campuses. So that's an opportunity to come for a campus tour and a little bit more. We're going to be offering a mini lecture in the sciences and one in the arts, as well as having housing and admissions and scholarships and financial aid representatives on hand. So if you have any questions about your transition to Trent University or your first years or what it's going to be like, we have all the specialists here to help you with those things. One more question from Tegan. Is it possible to get more than one part-time job, Brittany?
Simple answer is yes, it is possible. There are no restrictions to the amount of hours that you can work in your on-campus job. It just depends on the type of position, and it ultimately depends on who your employer is. So as you know, we've kind of, as Tina was saying too, it really is such a useful exercise. It's never too early to just start talking and just asking what opportunities are out there. So yeah, I would suggest that you do that 100%.
That's great.
I think that most jobs are designed to try to keep the hours somewhat to a minimum, though. I know that in the college office, we hire many students, and we try to keep them at 10 hours a week per student. And now, if you are a full-time student with 5 courses, I think any academic advisor would advise that. I think 10 hours a week is usually what's suggested. But some students do have different schedules and different plans with their academics. I did some years even part-time so that I could embark in some more employment opportunities. So every single person's situation is going to be unique. And if you have more questions about how to balance all this, we're always here to help you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so Tegan just has another question about, is it good for a first-year student to have a part-time job?
Mm-hmm. That's such a hard question.
It is.
Yeah. Everything's so personal. How much work have you already done in the past? I mean, I had 2 part-time jobs going through high school when so I was quite used to the workload. It's a very individual question, and full-time academic study at a university with 5 courses is a lot to manage. So just as I mentioned, 10 hours a week might be something you would aim as being a maximum, especially for your first year, unless, again, you have unique circumstances.
And I just wanted to make a note on that about the 10 hours per week. That's such a great point, and that's also that's why on-campus opportunities can be so beneficial, because your employer recognizes your commitment to academics, and even if there is something with your academics that you really need to talk to your employer about, that you maybe need to set aside some time, they're very understanding and will allow you that time, and work around your exam schedule, things like that. So.
Awesome. Thanks, Tegan. Yes. Thank you all for all of your great questions. We hope you've found this webinar informative, and feel free to review it again. We will be posting it to our YouTube channel, so if you want to come back and check the slides out one more time, it'll all be there for you to review and to pass on to your friends. We look forward to welcoming you to the Trent community soon. Take care and have a great evening. Bye. Bye.
Bye.